Hello everyone. Today I wanted to show you how to make an AI cover. I'll basically be redoing the Simon one, which I released a few days ago. And I'll show you all the steps on how I extract the vocals, how I cleaned it up, how I then took it into FL Studio to do some more processing, and I'll go through it all, just so everybody can get an understanding on how to make AI covers that sound a bit more professional, a bit better. All right, so there's two different ways of getting acapellas. The first way is by hopefully the artist themselves releasing it, and then you can download it from a stem pack, or maybe you can find it on YouTube. But since I couldn't find one for As the World Caves In, I decided to make my own acapella. Now, it's best if you use a source where your file will be in its best quality. So right here, I actually have an album rip in FLAC format. It's pretty high in quality. It's 830K, 44.1 kilohertz in FLAC, so it's pretty high quality. And the higher the quality it is, the better it will sound. So the program I use to extract the acapella and the instrumental is Ultimate Vocal Remover 5, which is free, and you can actually find several tutorials on YouTube. I'll link the one that I used so you can follow their steps, which should be the best way to remove acapellas. But I won't go over how this works and all the different models and stuff. I'll link the video down. But here are the settings I used. I used HB2, UVR, MDXNet, INS3, MDXNet, INS main, all these. Make sure to set your thing to GPU conversion because it'll take longer with your CPU. And up here, select your input, which is going to be this one. And then just save it wherever you want. Start processing. For me, I have like a 3050 Ti inside a laptop. So it took me around 20 minutes to extract everything. After I extracted everything, here are the vocals that I got. I'll just play them real quick.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired, and we've drunk a couple bottles.
It's pretty good for a program doing it itself. It sounds very clean. But we'll need to process this a bit more so we can get the best result when turning it into an AI voice. So for starters, I'm using the program RX10 by iZotope. It's not free, but there's ways to get it free, which I won't go over. But first, as you can hear, there's a lot of reverb on these vocals.
Button has been pressed.
And you get these long tails of reverb, which can make the AI voice sound a bit weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the de-reverb one, click on learn. Once it's done learning all the reverb, you can then click on render, and you can set your own reduction. I put it around 10 so that it's not just the dry vocals. There's a little bit of reverb in the back because then there's going to be a bit of artifacting. After it's done, you can give it a play and listen to how it sounds.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired.
As you can hear, there's still a little bit of reverb, but it should be fine. The AI can detect the vocals and kind of take away the reverb, so it should be fine like this. After this, I will check throughout the song if there's any clipping. So if you see little bright areas like this, that usually means there's clipping, but you can give it a listen.
Till old Satan stands impressed.
If you don't hear any clipping, then you should be fine to proceed. Next up, I'm going to go to the leveler. And I want around a -6 dB of space. You can click on responsiveness. I have it around this setting, preserve dynamics. So what this is gonna do, it's gonna level out the whole vocal, so the quiet parts become a little louder and the loud parts become a little lower in volume.
Bottles, babe, and set our grief aside. The papers say it's doomsday.
As you can see, all the vocals sound very leveled. Like compare these ones to these ones. They're on the same volume, which is what you want. And that should be all the processing you really need. If the vocals sound clean already, then you won't really need to do much to them. All right, after this, you're going to go to File. You're going to want to export it. And you're going to want to export it as a wave so you can get the best quality. And then just press OK and it will render. So now that I'm done here, I'm going to transfer it to the next program. Alright, so now I'm running RVC GUI, which I will also leave links down in the description and a video tutorial. But if you want a simplified version, I'll just explain it real quick. So first, you want to select your input, which is what you rendered over here. Then you're going to select your model, which I'm going to use Simon. Now these models you can get from a Discord server, which I will also leave in the description. I will leave a link for everything that you need down in the description. For the model method, I'm gonna use crep. I think that's how you say it. You can leave it at 128. Pitch, leave that alone. And then over here in feature retrieval, you can set it to 0.4, 0.5, depending on how much detail you want. Now the problem is if you raise it all the way up, you're gonna get a lot of artifacting and noise. So usually I keep it around here at 0.45. After you've done all that, you can click on convert and it will take around 2 to 3 minutes, depending on what your computer is capable of. Alright, so when you put in the vocals into FL Studio and also the instrumental that came with the Ultimate Vocal Remover, should sound a little like this.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired, and we've drunk a couple bottles, babe, and set our grief aside.
Now what I first like to do is remove any unnecessary pauses, like this,
Pressed.
just so there isn't any noise. So you could clean these up a little bit, which I did, like this. Now you're gonna want to make sure to route everything into each individual mixer, which I will then go over. So Simon's voice right here is put into a vocal bus, which I will be applying all the effects to. The first effect I put on here is the 40 Hz and 18 Hz cut, just to clean up the vocals a bit.
My feet are...
Make sure there's no low end. After that, on the vocal bus, this is where all the magic will happen. I just have another Hertz cut over here. It's not really necessary, but I just like to put it on. And over here is this plugin called Virtual Mix Rack, which is an emulator of several compressors, EQs, different sorts of stuff. The first one I have right here is the VCC channel. You can just copy down all these settings if you want. Here is EQ. I have a little boost there on the 12K Hertz. On the 2K Hertz, I have another little boost. On 600 Hertz, I have a reduction. And then over here on 60 Hertz, it's like a very kind of big reduction, which you shouldn't really need since you already have the EQ cut over here. Then on here, I have a New York style saturation, which adds more harmonics to the voice. Overall, just makes it sound a bit better. It's not really too much, as if you boost it too much, it will start to sound distorted. So I just give it a little boost. And then at the end, I have this FET compressor. You can copy down all of these, but it really depends on your type of vocals. But I just put this on to give it a more leveled kind of feel. I know we already did that in the RX10 program, but it's not really that perfect, and it's always good to put a compressor on your vocals. Then I have a noise reduction just to get rid of any unnecessary sound. Now on top of this, I have Soothe 2, which cleans up the vocals, reduces any harsh frequencies. I have this setting that you can check over here. should be under vocals, and then clean up a little vocal harshness. I have this set to around 5.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired.
As you can see,
And
you can
we've
actually
drunk a
see the
couple
reduction
bottles,
over here in the
babe,
frequency.
and set our grief aside.
Then on top of that, I have FabFilter Q3, which kind of boosts the highs a bit, boosts the mids a little bit down since they kind of sound a bit muddy.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired.
Then on that, I have an OTT. It's very, very light, but it kind of makes the vocals get boosted a bit more. I have them around here. You can boost the highs a bit if you want, since they do sound a bit muddy. Depth, I have it around 5, but I'll put it around 15. The upwards compression is around 30, and then downwards is at 100.
My feet are aching and your back.
And then lastly, I have this final compressor on top, which I love to use on everything. Have you ever checked some of my project files? I have this on everything. I have the threshold around here at 2 dB, makeup around 5, my attack around 10, my releases on auto, my ratios at 4, and then I have this analog feature to just give it a bit more of a vintage feel.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired.
That is everything I have on my vocal bus, and I'll just play it with the instrumental.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired. And we've drunk a couple bottles, babe, and set our grief aside. The papers say it's doomsday. The button has been pressed. We're gonna nuke each other up, boys, till old Satan stands impressed.
Now it sounds pretty good, but if you want to level it up, I'll give you a few more steps. Now you could take this and just be done with it and upload it, but I'm gonna give you some tips on how to make it sound even better. Now on my vocal bus right here, you can see that I have set up some sends. There is this delay, this chorus, and this reverb. Now I'm going to send the dry signal to it. Put some chorus, some reverb, and I won't put delay since I'm trying to match the original song's reverb. On the chorus, I'm using Dimension D by Arturia. And as for the reverb, I'm using Valhalla Vintage Verb. You can copy these settings down if you want, but it really depends on the type of song it is. Now, so far, all these vocal buses and sends have been sent to my vocal bus, which you should set up, and then also set up a pre-master for your instrumental, and then these finally get routed into the master channel. Now with the reverb and the chorus, it should sound like this.
My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired, and we've drunk. It is our fine night of life, and as the earth burns to the ground, oh come, it's you that I lie awake as the atom bomb rock fade. Oh, it's you. I watch TV waves as the world fades in.
Now you could stop right there, but me being me, I decided to step it up even higher. So on the main vocals, I have this plugin called Waves Harmony. Now this plugin isn't free again, but if you know, you know. Now what this plugin does, it basically adds harmonies to your vocals. So over here, I have this vocal, which is placed at C sharp, it's pretty flat. So this is what it should sound like. Also over here on the right side, I have an A sharp, which just plays in tune with the vocals.
As the atom bomb laughing, oh, it's you.
And then I have these automations over here that basically turns it up or down depending on where he's singing.
As the atom bomb laughing, oh, it's you.
And then over here, I have this one note that only triggers during this specific section.
Bomb laughing.
It has this nice harmonization that fits with the song.
Atom bomb laughing, oh, it's you.
And then over here, I also have the same triggers.
As the atom bomb laughing, oh, it's you. I watch TV when as the world camps, oh, it's you.
Now, as you can hear, the vocals are kind of getting a little muddy because of the instrumental. So there is a way to make the vocals pop out more. So the reason I set up these pre-masters and vocals is for that reason. So like I said, the instrumental is going into the pre-master, and then the vocal bus is going into its own separate mixer over here, which then gets combined with the vocal and pre-master into here. So basically on the pre-master, you want to load up this plugin called Patcher, and it's going to look a little like this. Then you're going to want to go up here, look for your presets, and you're going to want to find, it should be under Youlean multi-band sidechain. And this is what it should look like. I'll just close this for now. Over here on your vocal bus, you want to right click on the pre-master, which should be your instrumental, and then click on sidechain to this track. Now going back into your multi-band sidechain, you want to go into the map. Over here on this icon where it says from FL Studio, you want to right click it, click on Outputs, Audio, and then you're going to want to click on Vocal Bus, which since I have it all the way at the end, it should appear over here. Now you're going to see this little dot appear. You're going to want to left click it and hold and drag it so it connects over here where it says connect sidechain here. There's some documentation which you can read. I won't really get into how this plugin works because I'm not really too sure, but it just does. And now you're going to want to turn the sidechain until your vocals sound pretty clear. If you want to get a sort of extreme of what this does to the instrumental, I'm just going to turn it all the way up. What it basically does, it carves into the instrumental to make space for your vocals. So I would suggest putting it around here. You could turn the release up a little bit, and then the low cut around here, it should be fine. Here's what it would sound like without it. As you can kind of hear, the vocals are very in the back instead of being in the front where it should be. So I'm just going to turn it up again and you can hear the difference. And then finally, I'm going to give you my master chain, which I use on my actual regular songs. So first of all, I have this plugin right here, PuigTec. I have no clue how to pronounce that. EQP1A. I have this boost on the low, so it gives it a bit more punch, which is basically what I use this plugin for. I have the low frequency around here. These are really the only dials I moved. And then over here on this EQ, the only dials I really moved were these ones, which boost the high frequencies a bit. So there should be two knobs on here. The first one should be this one, which kind of lets you pick between which frequency you want to do. I have it around 15, and then I have a boost of 3. Now you can change this depending on your song. Over here, I have this plugin called Inflator, which you can actually get for free. What it basically does, it like helps you boost your song's volume without affecting dynamics. And then over here, I have the IMPusher, which I really only use the stereo image just to make the song sound a bit wider, a bit better. And then lastly, I just have this Youlean loudness meter just to check the LUFS, but you shouldn't really worry too much about that. And then finally, I just have a fruity limiter just so it doesn't peak and distort. And that should be everything that you really need for an AI cover. Now, throughout the song, I make like little cuts and I either turn down the volume on certain parts or boost it up. It really all depends on your ear and how loud the song is. So as you can see, I boosted it here. During the chorus, I boosted it even more. And then at the end, I turned it very down because those were the end vocals. And yeah, that should be how to make an AI cover sound even better. Or I guess more professional sounding.
Here it is, our fine night of life. And as the earth burns to the ground, oh come, it's you that I lie awake as the atom bomb laughing. Oh, it's you. I watch TV wins as the world hates him.
And there you go. That is the full tutorial on how to make an AI cover. Thank you all for watching this. If you want more tutorials on other stuff I post on my channel, let me know. Follow my socials. I will be announcing when I post videos on there. But anyways, thank you all for watching and see you.